Want some candy?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
I hear you looking for candy, man, bitch.
Give me some sugar, baby. Like scary movies.
Want some candy?
Are you recording?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I'm leaving that in.
Woo! What's the Game Podcast?
Whatever. That was the worst intro you've done yet.
We just carved some pumpkins.
Wait. I thought I was doing the intro.
You gotta take it because it's going into the mountain now. You gotta take it. Save us.
No, this is not the intro.
Then what the fuck are you doing? You just introduced the show.
Oh,
Kind of.
stairs. Oh, my hair. This is Halloween. This is Halloween. Halloween. In this town we call home. Everyone hail to the pumpkin home.
I'm still not sure if the show's began
Don't
or not.
we
Yeah, I
love
don't
it
know.
now? Everybody's waiting for the next surprise. Round that condom man hiding in the trash.
Did you say condom man?
Yes, the condom man.
It's not.
Pretty scary. But, you know what? Condom man is a good man because he protects you from STDs and unwanted pregnancies.
And thus our show became a PSA. You gotta save us right now. It's a
Everybody
Halloween.
scream!
And things are already like.
Halloween.
What's up, candy killers out there in horror podcast land? This is Screaming E from the world's second greatest rock and roll band, the Memphis Murdermen. And that train wreck right next to me was Shotzi Blackheart, the ballsiest badass pro wrestler in the whole world.
Yeah, I wreck trains with my fists and my balls.
And over here's Dominic Davia Tsunami Bomb.
I fix trains with my balls.
And your
Shotzi
music?
breaks. I fix the trains.
Do you guys like living dead things? Do you also like flesh-eating ghouls? Do you also like things that rip your guts out? Well, get ready, because this is Monster Candy Podcast.
Halloween edition! Happy Halloween!
Woo! We're eating some candy corn. We're carving pumpkins. We
We're all
just
hopped up on goofballs.
Yeah, we just went trick-or-treating. It was great. Yeah.
This is your best Janice from the Muppets impersonation yet.
Can we share, can we go around and talk about our favorite Halloweens? Don't tell me, yeah.
I don't even know if I have one.
You don't even know. They've all been so great. They're just...
Yeah.
No, I mean, really, they've all been
Okay, I have a question
but-
for you guys before we go into that. Do you guys find that because you live your life kind of Halloween 24/7, that when you get to Halloween, you're super stoked, but then you get there and you're like...
Yeah, this is my
so
life every
this
day.
This is my...
It's just everyone else is also kind of doing the same thing I'm doing.
I find, like, during Halloween, I shop for certain items that decorate my house year-round.
Yes.
And I'm very picky.
Yeah.
And then I find, though, that, like...
Which Target fucking kills it, right?
Target does a pretty good job. Like,
Dude,
there's a lot of
like
cheese.
practical stuff.
Yeah, but you grab... There's always certain items at every store.
Yes.
But, like... I just kind of
Michael's.
find it seems like Michael's. Yeah, I've already hit Michael's and Target.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a couple other places I want to check out. I guess I'm giving away that this was recorded before Halloween, but it is Halloween, so who cares? By this time, I would have checked out every other store. I know, like it's like a pretend. No, I really enjoyed this ridiculous beginning, but I find that some people it seems sometimes it can be a little anticlimactic.
Right.
I love Halloween, but it can be a little anticlimactic.
I just use it as another excuse to eat so much pizza and ice cream and candy. It's just another excuse to pig out.
So what was your favorite Is there a great Halloween that you remember in? Like, is there one that stands out for you?
I mean, not. They're all pretty awesome.
Yeah, I've never really had a bad Halloween.
Yeah.
I think like one of my favorites, which I don't remember too much about,
Explain
but was the first time I went trick or treating without my parents.
Oh.
You know, that's always the best, right?
Yeah.
I hit like 10,000 houses that day. I think like I like would go around and then I'd come back home and drop off my bag because it was already full and then do another round. I was a maniac. I was like, I need to get all the candy.
You, a maniac? No way.
I know, and imagine I had more energy back then.
What?
No way, right? No fucking way.
Mine, believe it or not, was a couple years ago. It was a couple years back.
A couple years ago.
Yeah, it actually was. Because for Halloween,
Dom, you mean to tell us that even when you're, older, you could still have the best Halloween of your life?
Thank you for that.
That's not what I meant.
Asshole.
I meant when you're not 10 anymore.
Great.
Because my favorite Halloween is when I was 10.
Right.
And there has not been anything better.
What an incredibly creative way to call me out for being like one of the oldest people.
That is not what I was saying.
I think that's what you were saying.
As I was
That is not
stating before I was
That's not what I was saying.
rudely attacked.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Okay.
All right. No, I will show you. Okay. One of the things, though, that made it really cool is that my ex and I and a couple friends, we went down to Disneyland. And we took part in their Halloween after hours celebration where they close the park early.
Yeah.
And they set up all these trick-or-treat stations. And then
Yes.
you trick-or-treat through the entire park. And the park is like
Oh,
only
what time is
60% full.
What time does it start?
It started at like, I think they shut down at like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. And then from like 8 till 11, you were just trick-or-treating.
Aww.
And so as an adult, I'm
This
trick-or-treating
was
all these
on
places.
Halloween?
They do it all the way through leading up, and this was part of my Halloween celebrations. I think it was like a week before. And so we're literally dressed up in costume. We are trick-or-treating. We're adults. There's mostly adults trick-or-treating, though there were some kids too. And it was so funny because some of the stations that they set up were giving out like cran apple snacks
Yeah.
and carrots. And
Bullshit.
then other ones were giving out like sweet like Reese's peanut butter cups. Like they had set it up where there were healthy stations and there were good stations, and it was like trick-or-treating the park, you got a big mix of stuff.
Right.
And so all these adults, after trick-or-treating Disneyland of all places, when it was all over, and then there was like parades of the villains because they celebrate all the villains when this happens. It's all pretty silly. But what's so cool about it was that like all these adults that I was with, we went back to the hotel room and literally poured out our candy and started trading. I mean, it was like being 10. Like nobody stopped. As soon as you gave a bunch of adults a chance to trick or treat, legitimately go trick or treat and get their bags filled with candy, everybody immediately went right into that mode again. And it was like no, I'm not doing this, or oh, this is weird. Like everybody had fun, and it was like a park full of people. Like now they do it every year, but I think this was the first year they did it.
Yeah.
And it was so much fun. Like everybody was super into it, and so I had that was a really great Halloween. And then not so much Disneyland, though that was cool. It was that they were doing this thing that allowed adults to just trick or treat like kids, and immediately they all became kids.
Yeah.
There was no hesitation.
I've been to Disneyland every time of the year except for Halloween time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you ever see like the Nightmare Before Christmas remake of the Mansion ride?
Yes, because I've been there during Christmas and they have it.
They have it like,
Yeah.
from Halloween to Christmas. Right. Crazy. It's all right.
Yeah.
This is legit. I mean, that's a very wholesome start to the show.
Yeah.
I feel like,
Right?
we did that for the kids.
Yeah.
Give them hope.
Yeah.
All right. Let's fuck some shit up.
Yes.
All right.
It's time for some fucking horror news.
Yeah.
Horror news.
See, it's not the same when you're not here. It's not the same when you're not here. Because last episode you weren't here. This episode you are. It's nice
Yeah, it's
to have
totally
you
not
back.
the same. The intros usually run fucking super smooth. I never get railroaded. I feel like there's a competition between the ballsy badass
I feel attacked.
and the kid.
You feel hostilely like you've been attacked.
Think so, man.
Wow. All right.
You're
So-
so cool, Brewster.
For this horror news, we're going to talk about a trailer that came out by this time a couple weeks ago. Pet Cemetery. Yeah. So we're gonna play it and
One
we're
of
gonna
my
talk about it
flavors.
while it's playing. We're gonna react to it in real time. Though you've all probably seen it and been react to it, or maybe not. Maybe you haven't seen it. But you probably should.
Real
This
time
movie's gonna come out.
cocksuckers.
Let's talk about this. Because for us, this just came out. Oh, Halloween people of the future who are listening to it now. All right, so we're gonna watch this trailer in real time.
It's definitely not Boston. Here we go.
You had mentioned earlier. Looks like money had been put into this.
Yeah, I'm glad that a horror movie is getting a big investment.
Well, you know,
Which a lot of them have been lately.
lately. Yeah. I think they did that truck going by on that freeway pretty cool, like making it scary.
Yeah.
Those big rigs, man, they just sneak right up on you. You never hear them coming. They're there. I always wonder how people.
Mist. Kids used to dare each other to go into the woods at night.
No main accent. I'm just gonna point that out. No main accent.
Bullshit. I call bullshit.
Power of that place.
These kids right here, this was me and my sister and our
It's
friends.
like walk around in a big mask.
Yeah, we
and,
would like paint our faces and pretend we're witches and like pretend we're like doing little rituals together.
I like the drum, the little kids drum, and I like the kids in the animal masks, paper mache animal masks.
Makes sense though. You are half Filipino, so that's some savage
Well, I
shit.
never used masks, but
Maybe just some
what
crazy
was under his
folktale.
coat? Ah!
Thing up in the
Church!
woods.
This was good.
Not as cool. Not as cool looking church.
Something that brings
I
things
like the
back.
look of the face, but it does just look like a dirty cat. Looks like they got the hospital scene, so they're going more into the story.
Sometimes dead is better.
Okay, I love John Lithgow, but Fred Gwynn, his
Duh.
version of that line is
Herman
better.
Munster.
Yeah.
Sometimes dead is better. I can't even do it as good as he did it, but
That
it
was pretty good, I thought.
Yeah, that was,
Yeah, you did pretty good.
You just gotta think of it, sometime. Yeah, now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
But like, okay, I don't think it looks bad. I think it looks
No,
really
I
cool.
think
I'm
I
definitely
like
gonna
it.
go see it.
I'm checking it
I think
out.
it looks like it can be cool. I don't think that the '80s version was so definitive there can be no further versions. I mean,
No, the '80s version was super flawed, so I don't mind a remake. You know.
We'll see.
yeah. But I
Keep an open mind on this one.
wish they could have. I mean, Fred Gwynn was so rad. Ground's got sour.
And then that
Yeah, but
one.
he's dead, so.
And then that one scene, he was like, Lily.
I had forgotten that it was Herman Munster in the first.
Yeah.
Grandpa.
Yeah, but I do like John Lithgow. That is a great choice, right there.
We'll see.
Has John Lithgow ever done a horror movie? I don't remember one. But then
Horror
again-
movies are the cool thing now.
Yeah.
I'm for it.
So, what's our take? I think it looks really good. Actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out.
We'll see.
And you're a little hesitant.
We'll see.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I didn't hear any Ramones in it, so.
Oh, true.
That I did have a friend. My friend.
The Ramones are dead.
pointed out that this trailer had a lot less no main accents and a lot less Ramones.
Do you think they'll use any in it?
Dude, I think it would be amazing if they didn't use any of it and then right at the credits they play Pet Sematary.
Should.
But if they get somebody else to do Pet Sematary as a cover, I'll be really annoyed because I don't like when they do stuff like that with
No.
remakes. But like, I would love to hear that song, that classic song, right back on this.
I
soundtrack.
bet-
Yeah, like
I
One
bet-
Direction
I
doing
bet-
Pet Cemetery.
Baby, you light up my world like nobody else. The way that you flip your hair gets me overwhelmed. But when you smile at the ground, it ain't hard to tell. You don't know, you don't know you're beautiful.
I did not see that coming at all, and I wish that everybody could see my face as that like just unfolded in
That's
front
our
of me.
favorite song.
Look,
Okay.
look. As the pops, now I'll explain why.
Happy
Because-
Halloween, everybody.
Because that is
That's the best pop
that's
song
that.
ever.
It's a
right
good
now.
pop song because it's 3 other pop songs, which is "Hit Me with Your Best Shot."
Right.
It is "You Drive Me Crazy," "Fine Young Cannibals," and it's "More Than a Feeling,"
Wow.
which is why it's so.
More
Dude,
than a feeling.
Yeah,
From what? What? More than a feeling?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was Summer Lovin'.
Oh, that too. Yeah,
Probably that.
5.
I mean, it's all.
4. Yeah.
There's only so many
Math.
pop songs written over and
Yeah.
over again.
But anyway, I was like, fuck. That song, I know that's like that's another song. And I
Right.
just dissected
It really is.
anything I
That
could
just-
think of, and then
That just needs to be my new entrance music.
should.
I would just like to point out that
we busted into
made
One
that
Direction
made
song?
the episode because I didn't see that coming, and you guys
See you later.
were so happy doing that. It's like, wow. My mind is now blank for what we were talking about.
Ramones and Pet Sematary.
Oh,
What I think is
fuck did you guys get to what you just did then from that? Okay, go on.
what I think is gonna happen is somewhere in the movie someone's gonna be listening to Pet Cemetery.
Oh yeah.
I think that's what's gonna happen.
That's I just think it would be really cool to hear it at the end of the song, dude. I'm shook.
What's up, One Direction?
I did not. You guys, honestly, I would never have thought that you guys would be One Direction fans, but
We're not. It's just that one song's
Dude,
great.
that one song.
I
I ain't,
Sounds like
I ain't
you
ashamed to
really
admit it. Fuck
do.
it.
I ain't
That's a good
ashamed.
song.
That's our
You
favorite
guys-
song.
You guys just serenaded everybody. So
Yeah. You're welcome, bitches.
Happy Halloween.
happy Halloween,
That's our Halloween gift to you.
dude. That was a treat.
Hell yeah.
So any more tricks? Yeah, that was a fucking segue. How about that? I worked that in.
Yeah.
Any more horror
what she
news?
said.
Like I know we were. Is there any more horror news?
Is there?
I don't know. We're all
Um,
fucking like in fucking goofball land from all this candy we ate from Halloween.
I know, right?
Too much candy corn.
By this time, when you guys hear this, we'll have watched the new Halloween. Oh no, we talked about that. I was about to talk about how they're already making a new one, but I think we already mentioned it.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I hope it's good. I hope it's as good as we think it is.
After Predator, the Predator. Who fucking knows?
You know, we haven't done that episode yet, so we
It's
can't
alright.
talk
They'll
about it.
yeah. They'll fucking hear it.
I think that's it for horror news, unless there's anything jumping out at anybody. I mean, there's a couple things floating around, of course. There's something always happening, but
I think that's it.
I don't have anything.
This has
Horror
been-
news.
Now it's time for the Night of the Living Dead. Hey, real quick, I didn't know that there was a 30th anniversary version of this movie released. I know that some of our better horror fans will probably be shocked. I didn't know about this, and when I accidentally tried to watch a version online, it turned out to be the wrong fucking version, because I was like, what the hell is this? What is happening? Why is this terrible?
Oh,
I had
man.
no idea that happened. John Russo did that, one of the writers.
It's real bad.
It's
I
really bad.
bought it. I still have it. Put it on VHS like when it came out. I was super excited. Oh my god, yeah, let's check this out, man. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Dude.
Oh.
I was like, what the?
They all know it's bad too. They are all like, oh.
But why'd they do that?
Because they were just
Like, they're just, it
being
seems like they were
stupid.
just being silly. Anyway, sorry to interrupt, but the real movie, however, amazing.
Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
Favorite movie. Pittsburgh, PA.
This is
Evan
your
City.
movie.
It's my movie.
This is your movie. This is the first movie filmed in Pittsburgh. Big movie. I'm sure
Yeah.
somebody filmed some home movies and
Technically Evan City, but
1966.
yeah, it's Pittsburgh, you know.
based.
Yeah.
But this is yours. So this is like, I mean, growing up there, do you feel like this movie kind of like to people in
Everybody
Pittsburgh?
knows somebody
Who was in
who
the
was
mo-
in the movie
Yeah.
or is related to somebody that was in one of the
Really?
movies or like
You sure it's not just one of those things where everyone claims they had like, oh, my cousin?
No, I think they're. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
not in specifically not Living Dead, but in
Yeah.
in the Romero films.
Right.
You know, someone was a zombie and fucking,
Yeah.
you know, at some point in
That's
time.
pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Pittsburgh is a very horror-centric city.
Zombie capital of the world.
Like, even, like, normal-ass people that are like, oh, you know, that you wouldn't think would be, like, horror movie fans are like, oh, my God, yeah, I love this and I love that. And you're like, huh, all right.
So a lot of hometown pride for these.
A lot of
movies. Yeah.
A lot of it.
You know, they just announced. I don't know why I fucking didn't think about this. They just announced a little bit ago. His wife, Romero's wife, said that he left behind a ton of scripts.
Yeah, like 40 scripts or something
Yeah,
like that.
like, that's crazy. I mean,
Yeah, I
what
mean,
level of quality they are, but like,
Diary of the Dead and all that.
yeah, I mean, he's had some moments. We've all had moments. I haven't. Not every song I've ever written was gold.
I
Some are
can't
better
say the
than
same
others.
for myself.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. I've heard your album. No, seriously though. But I mean, there's got to be some cool stuff in there. I hope they open it up a little bit. I mean, I bet there's a lot of filmmakers out there that would like, let's look over and see if there's one that's worth making.
Yeah,
It'd be sick. I'd love to see some Romero written stuff out there.
we'll
More.
see.
One last gasp.
Or a lot of last gasps.
About 40 of them,
Yeah,
apparently.
so, you know.
That's pretty cool that he kept writing.
Yeah.
This was the most successful indie film ever. It cost $114,000 and made over $13 million, and George Romero saw none of it. He was screwed himself out with bad distro deals, and distributors have made all the money on this film ever, and he basically got to be happy that his name was on it because he didn't make any money off of it all, which I think sounds absolutely fucking ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
Seriously. And I mean, and that's just the movie, by
Oh,
the way,
yeah.
that 13 million. That is not merchandise, which
Oh,
I
yeah.
hope that he had something on the merchandise.
I'm sure at some point, but
He must have, because there's so much stuff that's come from this film over the years. Like, that alone has got to be more than 13 million.
you would think. Especially all the bands that have used their images.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know
I
anybody.
can't think of any kind of band that has ever used any of the imagery of this. Google Memphis Murder Minute.
But hey, when you're from Pittsburgh,
Right.
It's like you own the film, right?
yeah, you get to do shit like that.
Speaking of owning
Us,
film,
Half-Life.
did you guys know? I'm gonna say one more super technical trivia point. This movie is accidentally in the public domain.
Yeah.
They
Oh, yeah.
screwed up. I
That's-
mean, later it.
Well, I knew that it was in public domain
Yeah.
because that's why Creepy Coffee Movie Time used it so much.
Yeah.
Right. Because at the time you had to put a copyright
Mm-hmm.
information on a film, otherwise they assumed you wanted to go public domain, and they forgot to put it on,
Yeah.
Hence
So-
why.
and it sort of
Never saw
accidentally
anything.
slipped. And yeah,
Yeah.
that probably.
But
didn't
not
help either.
anymore, though, right?
Well, now as of the '90s, they don't need to do that. They don't add that stuff in anymore. But it's just automatically like under a copyright. But
Yeah.
But-
Usually the way it works with that's like even music and stuff. If you record it, I mean, once you get into like albums and record labels and shit like that, it's a little different. But you can always say, "Hey, here's the physical copy of what I recorded.
yeah,
This is my music."
There's a certain amount of. I mean, it's not as like. In the '80s and before that, it was always like people were like, "Oh, mail yourself that copyright and this and that." Now it's more like the courts are like, "Did you record this? Do you have proof that you recorded this? Okay,
There you
this is
go.
yours. That's it."
Yeah.
You know, like they're not.
Well, wait,
so-
is it still public domain then?
That's still public domain.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it ever got pulled out.
Oh, I thought it did.
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you want to hear something crazy about that public domain stuff, though?
What?
Technically speaking, like anything after a certain amount of time goes into public domain. Like it's like 70 years.
There's like a shelf life or something.
It has a
yeah,
shelf
yeah.
life. So, I think it was either Disney or DC. One of them did it first. But technically speaking, like Mickey Mouse is old enough to be in public domain. But Disney freaked out and was like, no, we're not doing this. Like, there's not going to be porn made involving Mickey Mouse. There's not going to be, like, bad stories and people making weird shows.
What?
This is, like, the symbol of our company.
Yeah.
So they made a big case and a big fuss. And so then they changed the law stating that if something is related to the literally your company is founded on this symbol, you get an extensions on
Okay.
those. Like, it can keep
Like,
going.
as long as it's still relevant?
Right, so like just like you could literally sit down and write and perform or play or do a stage play of Sherlock Holmes because it's in public domain.
Right.
That's why there's so many Sherlock Holmes stories because nobody
Yeah.
you don't have to pay
Uh-huh.
Arthur Conan Doyle's family for it. It's beyond him now. Dracula, all those like all those
Yeah.
monsters, they're just out and open.
Right.
Mickey Mouse is supposed to be, but it won't be because Disney was like, hey, our company's based off this. So that's not. And then because they did that, DC jumped on Superman and then Batman when that happened because they were about to go public domain. So a lot of these old characters and like these companies are like, no, not these guys because we still use them. But technically speaking, all of us
Yeah,
should be
if
able to
you're
write
still-
stories about Superman or...
Yeah, well, if your company is still using those characters, then of course.
Right, like... So I don't think... So that would mean, like, if... Does that mean that if you made a shirt that's Night of the Living Dead, like, you could and nobody can stop you? And nobody can stop you from using the imagery? I don't know how that works, because if the film's in the public domain, does that mean all the imagery is in the public domain?
I guess it depends on...
Somebody sells those movies.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it could depend on the character. Like, if the actor or someone did, like, this is my character, this is my image.
I'm going to try and remember this and bring this up in a future episode when I figure out how this works. Because I'm sure that all three people out there who is listening that are interested in what I'm talking about right now is going to be really waiting for me to come up with an answer for this. But I am curious.
My response to that is, go ahead and sue me.
I
You're
have
not going to
no
get anything.
money.
Yeah, so fuck it. Like, what are you going to get?
Cease and desist.
Yeah.
It's really just going to be a cease and desist. But I'm just wondering if the imagery from this film is also public domain then. Like is anybody getting paid for all those
Probably
Night of the Living
not, because
Dead
there's
shirts?
so much of it out there.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot. Anyway.
Yeah.
But it's a wonderful gift that George Romero gave us all by accident and sacrificed all the money he was going to make off of it for that.
Because we went to a panel, a Night of Living Dead panel,
Yeah, Monster Palooza.
and they were they were all super burned about how much money that this movie made, and they didn't see any of it.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's annoying, like, fuck, but what are you going to do?
Yeah. No, it's interesting. I mean, another thing that I'm really fascinated by this film, and I don't think people know this. I know horror fans know this. You guys know this. But I don't think a lot of people know that everything we think of as a zombie nowadays comes from this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is where it was created. Zombies existed beforehand, of course, out of, voodoo and Haitian, especially Caribbean beliefs. But they didn't work like this.
Mm-mm.
And the term zombie isn't even used in this film. So, this... it's playing in the background.
Yeah. Fuck it.
Barbara's freaking out right now.
Barbara freaks
As
out
she
this
does,
entire film.
yes. As she does.
I mean, good for her for
BBT.
doing it, but it's a little tiring.
Bitches be trooping.
But I mean, they wanted her. They talked about her being more capable, but then she just went south. But no, I'm really fascinated. Before we get to that, I'm really fascinated by the fact, like, Walking Dead, everything. Zombie movie, everything comes from this.
Me and Shots were discussing earlier, before you got here. Night of the Living Dead was not the first zombie film,
but it put zombies.
But it put zombies on the map. So it's like the Elvis Presley of zombie movies. He wasn't the first, but he's the one
that put rock and roll.
That got, was like, hey, check out this cool shit that I was influenced by.
Right.
Like, look, now you guys are gonna fucking love it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just took off from there, and it opened a lot of doors for a lot of people. One of the best things I like, coming from Pittsburgh and everything, this whole movie, like all the Romero movies, but especially this one, it's just a bunch of friends. Hey, we're gonna do this horror movie, this monster movie. You want to be in it? And they just got all their friends. Didn't pay a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Just fucking had them, and everyone was like, "Oh hell yeah, I'll be in it." Like even back then, they're like, "That sounds fun."
The Coopers are investors in the movie, and everybody's It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I love like that, and like Evil Dead has that same story
Yeah.
to it. Like I like it. I love those.
That
those
homegrown stuff.
But I mean, again, it's just really fascinating that they like the whole reason that the zombies are cannibals. That came from these guys trying to think of something shocking that these zombies would do while they're up and walking around. When they came up with that idea, and it has been since then, it's been all about the brains. The fact that that walk comes from the actor trying to copy Boris Karloff in The Walking Dead and to walk like him. So now zombies walk like that.
Yeah.
Like it's just crazy. Like they could have never known that this was going to do that. Like
No.
They didn't. They all thought, yeah.
Yeah.
But they were just trying to do a fun film. I mean, I thought about asking you guys to let's do a short, horror short for YouTube at some point. I want us to all do one.
Oh yeah.
Like, just get together, write a short story, put it together, and film it, and execute it, and do it. And it would just be super fun. And that's what this was, but they did it on a big film, and they put it together. But it's just, like, crazy to me that these group of friends, and their conversation to make this low-budget film in the 60s turned out to define an entire horror genre that is now locked in place. And I wonder how many people really realize that most of all of the zombie tropes come from this.
Yeah.
Most of them.
Yeah.
I'd say a little bit. I mean, there's a lot of like purists that are like, well, he ripped off I Am Legend, in the book, which there's it was influence for sure.
Right. But, I mean, they weren't considered even zombies. They were ghouls.
Yeah, like vampires, basically.
They were more vampy than anything.
They're supposed to be ghouls.
Right.
And then, that's the one thing I couldn't find. Do you guys know this? And maybe we don't know. But, like, why they got attributed to being zombies when they're not called zombies in this movie, and they refer to them as ghouls or flesh eaters. I don't know how that got associated with it. But then it did, and it stuck, and that was that.
Well, they're dead. They're all messed up.
Yeah. It's the best line in the whole movie.
It's awesome.
I mean, that's basically a description of a zombie. They're dead. They're all messed up.
Yeah. I saw a thing that said that the makeup artist started grinding out certain ones, and then finally they just look at people's faces and then emphasize whatever big thing on their face. They have big eyes, they emphasize the eyes, or big nose, they just emphasize the nose, made it all dark and shadow. Just trying to really just grind it all out because there were so many people to do it. It was on no budget.
Oh yeah.
It was you just couldn't make people rotted and weird. You had to just sort of emphasize their features and make them look kind of scary looking.
All the favors they called in from people. Oh hey, we need taxidermy stuff. Hey, can we use your stuff? Oh yeah, sure. It's gonna be in a movie. Cool. Yeah,
Right.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I think like I said, it's pretty rad how they did it, and I just love the just the way it's shot.
Mm-hmm.
One location, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just obviously, like Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, that was the thing,
Those are some of the best horror films
Yeah.
that are just in one location.
That's a really good point. Honestly, because the tension you can create from this enclosed scene. I mean, they hit on themes that they could not have intended to hit on. I mean, actually, I know they did that. I mean, the zombies being identified with the creeping death, death, just the unstoppable,
Right.
inescapable onslaught. I'm sure they didn't sit there and go "Whoa, they're gonna walk up like a slowly creeping sense of death." Just like they didn't intend to make such a racial statement with the casting
they just casted who was the best.
Yeah, it's not, I mean, he's not the first. I don't think he's the first African American lead, but he is definitely one of the first African American leads, and it was a crazy huge thing to have him there. But they weren't even thinking about it. They were just he's a great actor, and he is a great actor.
He's the best actor.
He's hands down the best actor.
Awesome.
He's the only decent actor in this film.
Yeah.
Do you think what's her name? I mean, I know her character's annoying because she's making her hysterical, but she does a good job. I mean,
she's effective.
Too. Yeah, I mean, she portrays the character that she's been given to portray. I like that they rewrote the part for him.
What's the name of the couple I hate?
The kids, the teenagers.
Oh,
yes,
Judy and Tom.
Yeah. Ugh. Oh man.
They really bug you?
Oh Tom. Oh Tommy. You go to acting school.
That's
Yeah.
pretty funny.
The funny thing about Dwayne Jones is that he pretty much rewrote all his lines himself.
Did he?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. I knew that they initially he was supposed to be this grumpy trucker kind of
Yeah.
guy, but he took it and they were just so blown away by him. That was that.
Yeah, he pretty much did that. And he the original ending was supposed to be that he lived.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, but he thought it would be a better idea if he died.
He was right.
Yeah.
You know, they it's funny because Harry Cooper, it's so funny to see how they are so contentious in this movie, but Carl Hardman was actually ended up becoming very close friends with Dwayne Jones. Ben, it's funny that and they all talk about how what a great guy he was, and that they felt like he should have been a really huge star, but they thought that the racism of America really stopped him in a lot of ways from being as big as he should have been. You know, and I admit it's a very narrow gap of actors at that time that got through and became something. You know what I mean? During that time, like Sidney Poitier.
What year is this?
1968.
Yeah, it is. You said it. It's the last film ever to be released without a rating. Right? It's the last of the
sick.
movies with no rating.
I didn't know that was even a thing.
Because that came out October 1968, and then in November 1968, that's when the rating system went into play. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. You know what's really cool? That they were eating roasted chicken with chocolate sauce.
What is that? Roasted ham and chicken.
Oh,
yeah, that's gross. Could you imagine how weird that would taste? Yeah, it's all chocolate syrup.
I would yak.
They said a lot of people looked sick after eating that.
I'd imagine.
Don't put chocolate on your chicken. It sounds cool, chocolate chicken, but do not eat it. Chocolate chicken.
Ham and chicken is gross. Yeah.
Hey, do you want some chocolate chicken?
Yeah, chocolate chicken.
Chocolate chicken.
And they had cool people in there like Chili Billy Cardilli.
Chili Billy Cardilli.
Bill Cardille, weather guy, who also hosted Chiller Theater, which I used to watch.
Really?
Growing up, yeah.
That's
and he
the
also
local Pittsburgh.
weather guy. And it was with the local Pittsburgh
That's what I was getting at.
horror
Yeah.
thing, yeah. And he also, which Shotzi Blackheart would appreciate, announced wrestling. He was a wrestling announcer.
Wow,
Yeah.
Look at
Oh, crazy.
So he would do
he's all over the place.
you know, wrestling, drive an hour back or wherever, and then do Chiller Theater, and so he's all
so cool.
Yeah.
That's all the things I love. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a weather person.
Oh my god. See, you're
Meteorologist.
fucking
And then
Shotzi
you
Blackheart.
your true calling is hosting your own horror show,
Yeah.
late night horror show.
Yeah.
where you talk about the weather.
Dude, I think I was Mr. Chili Bill Chill Cardille
That's it.
in my past life.
Could be Chili
Yeah.
Billy. I mean,
Chili Billy, wrestler, meteorologist, horror host.
Do you know this is one of the first films ever to be added to the Library of Congress?
I do.
See, I don't know why I'm throwing all this out there because you already know it all, but it's
I
awesome.
did. I did a speech in college on this.
Did you really?
Yes.
Of course you
First
did.
speech class, which is funny because I did a speech on the Queen's Silver Jubilee of 1976 or whatever
What?
on the Sex Pistols for speech class in high school once.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
That's awesome.
I was like, "Fuck, what am I gonna do?" I was like, "Oh, I'll do it on this movie."
Oh, the movie.
Yeah.
I found it a little. I didn't know all this time about the. I always noticed the really rough, weird jump cut in the basement. I didn't know why. But it's the one of 2 deleted scenes from this movie that are lost forever. And it was all at the distributor's insistence.
Yes.
And they cut out 8 minutes of dialogue. That's crazy. That's a huge amount of dialogue to just snap from a film, to just cut so
Yeah.
roughly from a film. And they didn't even do it very good. All of a sudden, this is something jumps a couple feet over.
I mean, you saw what they did to Freaks.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true. We talk about that, like how bad Freaks was cut. Like,
Yeah, if any of you assholes listen to our other episodes,
Which
you
br-
know.
which brings me back to I want to mention something. Silver Bullet. You motherfuckers should be ashamed who have not either seen it or have not like really watched it. That's a good fucking movie. So watch it and then listen to our podcast.
it is still the least listened to episode. Of
Such a
all
good
time.
fucking movie.
I think it's a pretty good episode of our podcast.
Yeah. Well,
So
I think they're protesting now.
I
Assholes.
think it's just they're just doing it on purpose.
Yeah. You know, we don't know that you're doing it. You don't have to do it. We don't know that you're protesting.
Well, apparently they cut out 2 scenes: the 8-minute discussion between the Coopers, and then a wide shot of zombies throughout the entire countryside, just all walking over the thing, which I bet was an awesome shot.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry they cut that out because that would
That
have
wasn't
been
in
really
the
cool.
30 year either?
I actually stopped watching the 30 year as soon as I got to the part in the graveyard where they're all the cemetery where they're all talking, and I saw that this like very obviously like
Anton
90s,
LaVey looking dude,
Anton LaVey 90s version looking guy playing a priest, and everyone poorly acting. And then when they opened up the coffin, and I recognized the zombie, but the same actor who played the original
The zombie for 40 years ago.
but like as an old man.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what do you guys even, why did you do this? It didn't need to be messed with.
It was
Don't mess
bad.
with it.
Me and my buddies at the time in my old band, I bought it. We're like, yeah, let's go check it out, man. We popped it on. We're like, what the fuck?
Dude, I was horrified the other day when I was like, all right, I'll watch it again, get ready for this. I've seen this movie 100 times. And then all of a sudden I'm like, who are these 2 yokels at a prison? Like, what's this truck? Like, where's Barbara?
It was bad.
Like, what's going on? And it just didn't even look right. It
No.
didn't look the same.
The film, like, just the difference in film.
was like,
It's so
dude,
bad.
Just because, no, don't. Why?
But enough about that shitty version.
Yeah.
You know
Back
what's a
to the-
good version?
What?
The remake. The
remake is
90 remake.
That was good.
Yep.
It's
I
90,
love
right?
that
1990.
movie. I love that movie.
Yeah.
So good.
It's one of the rare occasions, and they've
Good
changed
job,
a
Tom
bunch.
Savini.
They changed a bunch, but they still made it really cool. He was supposed to do the makeup on this, but he got called to duty for Vietnam as a a combat photographer.
Oh.
So he couldn't do it. He was actually hired to do the makeup on it. I bet he.
Oh,
was
I thought he
bummed.
assisted on this.
No, he was supposed to be in charge of it.
Oh, wow.
So then he came back and directed a really great version that
George
that everyone
Romero did that body upstairs.
saw. Did he? It was the
Yeah.
girl. It's the girl. It's actually the girl, the daughter, Karen Cooper.
Uh-huh.
It's actually her as
Oh.
that body.
Okay.
And you know what? I was okay. One of the things that I wanted to know about this movie that I never understood was why that body doesn't come back to life at all. And I thought there'd be like maybe it was cut out or it was one of the deleted scenes or something. Blah blah blah.
Shot their
They
brain.
never explain it. There's no reason for it. Nobody has a reason. They never. I couldn't unless you guys know something I don't. They never explain why that body does not come back.
Because
to
someone shot it, man. Someone got it in the head.
Probably, maybe.
That's what I always just figured.
Yeah, I mean, I
That's-
but I just wondered if there was something that I missed or
I meant
something
the,
that
like,
happened.
Completely mutilated one. Is that the one we're talking
Mm-hmm.
about? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's so gross looking that I think, yeah, it was shot.
Maybe. That's also the cool part about this movie that's led into like the creation.
Oh, I
of
love
the
this
Dead.
scene
Was the
when he's
scene
like
with-
cutting at the finger.
Oh yeah.
And then one. Oh yes. Oh, it falls off. Gross. It's so good. Oh, look at that. Nasty. He's just cutting his fingers off.
Do you think any kid that would see this movie, anybody new seeing this movie for the first time, would still enjoy it? You think it carries? I think it carries.
I do.
Definitely does.
I think it. As long as you get.
And I'm not
somebody-
being biased.
Yeah,
think
I
it's
mean,
just-
like, sure, I like classic horror films, but like, I don't know. I'm picky and I'm bored easily, and I don't like a lot of black and white. But I love Night of the Living Dead, and I think my nephew would like it.
I mean, it's pretty. It's not real long either, and
Yeah.
it's kind of gets like right to the point.
It's short and sweet.
And there's some action going on in it throughout the whole thing. So
Yeah, you
It's-
see zombies in the first scene.
yeah, so it's not like a dragging
No.
older black and white movie. It's like, oh, as soon as we get going, like as soon as it
hauls.
comes up, it starts going.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it keeps the whole like super crazy, anxious vibe. Mm-hmm. Like that really comes through. So you're like, oh fuck, man! Like everyone's yelling and pissed off, and nobody knows what the fuck is really going on or what to do. I don't know. I think it comes through.
I think it's a great movie. I really do enjoy it. That's why I'm gonna give it 5.
Well, we're doing this already.
I think so.
I don't know. I still got shit to
Tell
talk
me,
about.
tell me.
What? Like
Tell me.
what?
What do you tell us here?
Well, did you know that that Kyra Schoen is the daughter of Carl Hardman?
Yes.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
In case anyone didn't know, now you know.
Everybody's pretty much connected in some way, shape, or form in this,
Cooper
with the exception of the two main
Cooper
actors.
and his kid are actually related.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he took all the photos at the end.
Mm-hmm.
He was the one that took all the pictures. And I think that's a great ending, too. I love that ending.
Yeah.
The credits.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's all
Photos
super
and just
grainy.
keeps going. Yeah, it's so good.
And another thing that's cool about this, all the locations that you can still go to, like the graveyard.
Yeah.
Devon City Graveyard, which we posted pictures
Yeah.
on the Facebook and Instagram that we went to, and they got their whole little Evan City zombie,
We should share those online. You should share them on
Yeah,
the
well,
Monster Candy podcast
Yeah, we
page.
reenacted the scenes
we
as
did.
Barbara.
You should post that. So that
I
people
think
can look that up.
I think we did.
On
Yeah.
Monster
Yeah,
Candy?
on Monica-
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
right, that
yeah.
was. I
This is
thought it was on your guys' page.
yeah no.
This
So
movie's
angry.
awesome. That's why I'm already there. Like 5. I'm 5's not. I'm all in. I'm in this early. Even if you guys want to send more stuff, I hope you do. But I am saying right now that this is 5 cute, undead
Yes,
little
Zam-
zombie
candy corns. As we
from
eat candy
Pittsburgh.
corns right now.
I just wouldn't
Delicious.
Yeah,
We ate
candy
them
corn.
all. That's what I'm saying. I'm going in for 5 on this one. I think this is a great, even with its flaws, even with its bumps, and not a lot of flaws. This was a good indie rough movie. They made it, and it's got a lot of heart, and it wins it over. I mean, not every scene is acted the most perfect
Gives
acting,
a character.
but they rallied together and they made a cool film, and it changed horror
Yes.
forever after, or at least since it was made.
In a good way.
In a good way.
Yeah.
Walking Dead uses this movie as a Bible. That is like how they determine how zombies are going to act in every
Oh, is that
season.
why the prison season sucked so much? Because they were just in the prison the entire time.
I don't know.
And it was kind of based on, like, just being stuck in one area.
Yeah, but I mean, this movie did it a lot better than that TV show,
Well,
those
yes.
seasons. But, I mean, I just think it's interesting that that's like their entire Bible is based off of how the zombies behave in this movie is how they behave in Walking Dead.
Good.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's how zombies pretty much behave, unless you're like 28 days later and they're running at you real fast.
I hate
Those
that.
aren't zombies though, man. They're infected.
Infected. Viral.
They're
They're infected with rage. That was
Yes.
what that virus was called.
like the man with screaming brain, or the manster. He's just someone that's angry.
That's really funny. I'm saying 5. I'm down. I'm already there. You guys.
5. Duh.
I think I'm gonna go to like 2.5, maybe.
Yeah. I
Your
bet.
favorite
Psych,
film?
bitches, 5. Can I do 10? Can I do 10 out
You
of
do 10.
out of
You do 10.
You can do
5
as
candy
many as
corns?
you want.
Yeah, dude, go all the way.
Because we're all getting participation trophies in today's day and age. We can do whatever we want.
You're going plus ultra on this.
Oh shit!
Over the above.
But yeah,
All right. It's a great movie. If you haven't watched it, you need to give it a chance. If you know somebody who hasn't watched it, you need to give it a chance.
first you need to ask them, "The fuck have you been doing with your life?"
Yeah, I don't know why anybody wouldn't have seen this movie, but don't watch that 30th anniversary version.
Don't
Jesus.
just pretend that that never happened.
But watch the remake. The remake is cool because Tom Savini's remake, one of the other cool things about it is he made the adjustments that they talked about doing in this film,
Yeah.
but didn't do. Like where they considered making Barbara a stronger, more resourceful character, they do in that movie. You know, like where they wanted certain things to happen here, they do in that movie. Like I think that there's a really, it's awesome. I own both and I'm not sad about it.
Yeah.
I actually had to go out and get it after I accidentally watched the 30th anniversary version. I was like, okay, well, I'm going out and
I
getting
need a
it.
palate cleanser.
Yeah, I was really upset when I accidentally watched that version. And I
Yeah.
only watched it for like 3 minutes before I was like, the shit.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Just don't even bother. Pretend we didn't say anything about it. other
I haven't
than
seen it.
Don't get it.
Should I?
No.
No. What? Have
It's
you not
so
been listening to
bad.
the conversation that I've been having. How many times do I gotta say it? It's pizza pile. It's pile. Poop.
Yeah, but
Is a
should I
bit.
see it?
It's dog shit. It's super dog shit.
Well,
But as a crazy horror fan,
no.
should I see it?
No.
It's not even worth that.
No,
Not
it's
even
not worth
worth
it.
it?
It's
No.
so bad.
No. It's not worth it.
Admittedly, from
Yeah, they
the
know
cat,
that.
they're like, no, that was a mistake. We should have never done that.
Right.
They should have never done that.
Even George Romero, I'm pretty sure I read or saw. He's like, yeah,
That would
that
be
was
awesome.
that was a dumb idea.
It was bad.
Yeah. So
Thank you all so very much to come and listen to us on Halloween as we talked about The Night of the Living Dead, which is a great film. You should be watching it after this podcast. If this is Halloween, you're listening to this on Halloween, or even on Hallowmas, All Saints Day, you should pop in,
or Devil's Night,
or Devil's Night. You should
as
pop
we
in
like to call.
The Night of the Living Dead.
Definitely
And watch it
best
today.
movie ever. Yes.
I don't know if
Best
I could go
movie
best
ever.
movie ever. It's
Best movie
definitely
ever.
a
Best movie ever.
incredible
Best movie
accomplishment.
ever. Best movie ever.
It's in the Library of Congress, people.
See?
Congress knows what they're doing because they always know what they're doing.
It's the
'cause
one
they're
thing.
the
The one
Congress.
thing they got right ever. They're like, oh yeah, well, that makes sense.
I like how we go quiet and we hear your laugh.
Just-
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening.
Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween!
Suck my candy cornhole.
Wow. You've been listening to Monster Candy Podcast. Want to find out more about the show? Find us on the web at monstercandypodcast.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram by searching Monster Candy Podcast. And you can find our Twitter at MonsterCNDYPC. Hey, we couldn't fit the whole name. What do you want from us? Let us know what you think of the show and if we're right or if we're wrong or what you want us to tackle next. We want to hear from you. Well, Shotzi and I do, but I can promise that E doesn't really care. To find out more about Shotzi Blackheart and her professional wrestling, follow her Twitter at Shotzi Black or her Instagram at Shotzi Blackheart. You can follow Screamin' E's band, the Memphis Murder Men, on Facebook at TMMM official page or his Instagram at Screamin' E. That's screaming with no G, add the E. For me, Dominic Davy, you can find my artwork at dominicdavy.com, my band Tsunami Bomb at tsunamibomb.net, and you can hear my other podcast, 3 Gigs, at 3gigspodcast.com or on the same platform you're hearing this podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time on Monster Candy Podcast.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.